Question. Every time, let's get some terms, okay? I'm going to call this the wheel, the gray thing the wheel, the black center the axle, and this the tire. So I'm going to put a mark right there on the tire. I'll put it right on the wheel too. Alright, so every time that tire goes around, how many times does the wheel go around?
Once.
Once. You agree? How about the axle? How many times does the axle go around?
Once.
Yeah, otherwise it would twist, right? One end of the axle, the tire would go around and the axle wouldn't. So if this axle goes all the way through, every time this tire turns once, how many times does this tire turn?
Once.
Because they're on the same axle, right?
Yeah.
Now, I also see a couple of gears here, and I'm going to mark these gears. Okay? So, this gear is on the axle. Alright? Excellent. So, every time this gear goes around once, it's connected to another gear. How many times do you think the gear will go around?
Once, maybe?
The first gear is connected to the wheels. We call that the drive gear. The one that it's pushing, we call the driven gear. So if the drive gear goes around one time, how many times do you think the driven gear will go around?
One time. No?
Yep,
About?
once. So let's look real close. Right here, the drive gear goes around once, and the driven gear goes around once.
But this goes more.
Ah, good point. We'll get there. So now this driven gear here is connected to an axle with another gear here. So since that's on an axle, when one end of the axle turns, say, 3 times, how many times does the other end turn?
3 times. 3 times.
Otherwise it'll twist it, right?
Yeah.
Now, and that axle, that gear is connected to this gear. And what about this gear on the top here?
It's connected to that gear. It goes connected to that little gear, and then it connects to the big gear.
This gear has 40 teeth. This little gear has 8. So every time that big gear goes around once, how many times?
The little gear will go around
A bunch of times.
5 times
Why 5?
because 40 divided by 8 equals 5.
Awesome. Do you know why he divided?
Yes.
Because it's a last airy, and that last airy means, and it's the same way with planets orbiting the sun.
Okay.
If it takes, except it's with days, and for us it's seconds on this. So imagine that's Earth, and that's the sun.
Okay.
When the sun spins, we go around faster. When it goes around the Milky Way, it's more still.
Awesome. Well, definitely,
So I guess we're going to say
divergent
it's 3.
thinking is a good thing. So I'm going to go very slow, and I'm going to see. So every time this little gear, are the teeth on the big gear and the little gear the same size?
No.
They're not. Which one has bigger teeth?
Big.
These teeth are bigger.
No. None of that.
Are there more of them?
Yeah. More of them.
Is more the same as bigger?
No.
Are they bigger or not bigger? Are they the same size
They're
teeth?
the same size.
Right, because if they weren't the same size, they wouldn't fit, right?
Yeah.
If these were tiny little teeth and these were big teeth, they would smash into one another, right? They have to fit.
They would spin, but just for not very long, just like.
Until maybe they ground each other up.
Yeah.
No, they would spin, but if the small gear, if the ones with small teeth were spinning the big teeth, there would be like way more work for the small ones.
So in this.
Well, the teeth have to be the same size. Otherwise, they won't fit.
So I guess we're going to
Otherwise, they'll
sleep.
So, hold on a second. So, let's go around one time for the little gear. The little gear has 8 teeth. The second time. Third time. Fourth time. And a 5th time. So every time this gear goes around once, it moves 8 teeth past the intersection here. So it moves 8. 8 and 8 is
16.
16 and 8 more is 24 and 8 more is
32.
and 32 and 8 more is 40.
So
So-
kind of sweep.
Yeah, so this gear, the little gear is going to go slower or faster?
Faster.
So let's see how the street sweeper works. Put our leaves down there. Ready? Whoa! It kicks them around really great.
And I'm one.
So now I have a question for you. Is this gear that goes fast, is it more powerful or less powerful? Interesting. Maybe we'll find out. We'll do an experiment with that later in the
Red
week.
parts are more powerful, I think.
Now this one here, they're 1-to-1. These gears are the same size. They're both 24 teeth. And it goes a lot slower, doesn't it? So do you think that's slower? Do you think it's got more or less power or the same?
Less.
Less power, huh? This one's got more power?
Why?
Interesting. All right, well, we'll have to test that theory a little later on.
Because it's smaller the gear, it actually is less times it goes around.